Hi there, Miss Kay here for our trumpet lesson this week, and we are going to move on to page 11 and probably page 10 today from the Team Brass book. So get your trumpets ready, stand up straight, sit up straight, remember. Make sure your book, when we use the book, make sure it's upright in front of you, not laying down on the sofa or on the bed. If you don't have a music stand at home, see where you can prop it up, maybe on a table or a chair. If you're sitting, you've got a chair opposite you. Make sure your posture is good. That's always important in a trumpet lesson, or when you're playing any instrument, I should say. Okay, so trumpet's ready. Make sure you're holding it properly. Make sure it's up straight. Make sure your fingertips are on the valves. Don't put your fingers all the way across like that. And this thumb, I don't want to see this thumb coming up and poking up there. The thumb should be down so that your hand is like a claw. That way around, and then that goes on top of the valve, so exactly like that. Okay, so let's start off by playing. Are you ready? Let's play E. Let's play D. Let's go up to, what's this note? F. And if I play an open note, it could be either one of two notes, couldn't it? Last week we went up to G, or it could be our low C. So which one is this, C or G? And if you're not sure, I'll play the other one. Can you hear the difference in the pitch? So the G is higher and the C is lower. Okay, copy me. Trumpet's ready. We're going to work our way up the scale using those notes. Make sure you're using your tongue every time you play a note with a t. Can you practice that for me, please? Let me hear t. T, t, t. Great. Okay, so that t sound comes at the beginning of each one of our notes. So after me, here's a pulse. I'll go first. Your turn. Ta, ta, ta. My turn. Your turn. Lips tight because the next note's going to be G. Okay, well done. So now let's do that together. So three sounds on each of those notes, playing together after 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, anytime you can pause the video and you can go over and practice that on your own. When you're practicing, this is how you should be warming up. Do some long notes and then get your tongue working, do some rhythms. So now let's change those rhythms a bit and mix the notes up. So you can copy me. I'm going to play some different patterns, copy back whatever I do. Okay, here I go. Same pulse again. I'll go first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. Okay, I'm going to slow it down a bit, give you a bit of space, because if you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter, but I'll do that one again. Remember, if you're watching my fingers, that will help you. Let's say another one. Your turn. Now, do you remember what we said last time about the difference between the G, the upper open note, and the D when we're playing marching? If you don't change your lips and you only change your fingers, the note won't change, because you can also play G with these fingers down, although it's a bit out of tune. So here's G, and here's an out of tune G. Can you hear it? Slightly different. So make sure when you play D, make sure you've dropped your lips so that you pitch that D in the right place. Okay, can you turn to page 11 in your books? So this is all about 5-note patterns, and that's what we've just been doing, isn't it? Been using all of our 5 notes, mixing and matching, playing the scale, using your tongue, mixing the notes up. And this page is all about using those 5-note patterns. So at the top we've got the scale going up to G, coming back down again. So we're just going to do the left hand side first of all, this one, and then afterwards we'll do that one, and then we'll talk about joining them up. So play the first one with me. So we're going to go from C up to G. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. Big breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that top note, keep it in your head. We're going to do the one on the other side where we start on G, F, E, D, C. Ready? Off we go. One more time, starting from G, coming down G, F, E, D, C. Ready? Here we go. Now I'd like to join those up, and this is what I want you to work on when you're practicing. We're going to go up from C to G and turn straight back round and come down. So we don't play G twice. Just watch and listen. You can move your fingers. Well, actually, let's sing it first because that's what we normally do. So, singing voices and fingers ready. We're going to go from the beginning. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. Now you might want to pause the video and practice that a few times. It might take you the whole week to get that really fluent, but that's what we're aiming for. Let's sing it again. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, let's try and play it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, and if you can do that really easily, the next time I actually see you, I'll be really, really impressed. Now, moving on to the tunes underneath. These 4 tunes here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all patterns, like the ones we were making up earlier. Patterns that use these 4 notes. If you look at the first one on the left, it looks like kind of going up a mountain and coming back down again. But look at the fingering. It's also symmetrical. It's the same going up as it is coming down. So the fingering is going to be the same going up and the same coming down. So it's open. 1 and 2, because that's an E, up to G, which is open, back to E, back to open. C, E, G, E, C. And that's a very easy fingering, isn't it? You can practice that a few times before you play it. Look at the one opposite, the next tune along. It's the same pattern, isn't it? But turned upside down. So it starts on G and goes down. G, E, C, E, G. So our fingering on the trumpet can really help to make playing easy, because the fingering pattern is a nice easy one there. So the first one sounds like this. And the second one starts up of the G and does it backwards. Okay, so that pattern's nice and easy. You can mess about with that. How fast can you go? See how fast you can go. Now looking at the next patterns underneath, slightly more involved because it uses all of our 5 notes and a bit of a zigzag going up and down, up and down, up and down. Still goes basically from C up to G, but a bit of zigzagging in between. Look at the one opposite. It's the same pattern but backwards. Patterns, patterns, loads and loads of patterns in music. Okay, here's the, well, let's do the fingering for the first one. C, E, G, F, E, G. And the other side comes down, starting from the upper note. G, E, F, D, E, C. Okay, I'm going to play the first one really slowly. You can join in or you can pause the video and try afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next one starts on that same note. Okay, now there's a little bubble there that says make up your own tunes using 5-note patterns. So have a go at that. Be a composer. Anyone can be a composer. You can make something up. I'll do it now. I'm going to use the same 5 notes, some long, some short, some repeated even, or you can just make sure you do each note once. It's entirely up to you. See if your tune sounds finished. That one sounded finished. It finished on a C on our home note. I'm going to do another one. Does this one sound finished, or does this one sound more like a question phrase? To me, that sounds unfinished. It sounds like a question. Sounds like it wants an answer to come after it. So if I now do an answer, I'm finishing on C, which is our home note where it's going to sound finished. Now I mentioned long and short notes. Last week we talked about a word beginning with D, which was dynamics. This week we're talking about duration. Duration, what does that mean? It means how long something is. The duration of a TV program might be half an hour. Now if we look at the other words, long and short. So a note could be a long note or a short note, or even a longer note, or even a shorter note. So you could play a long line of notes, maybe on a C, and play long and short. Now there's a word on there, staccato. Look at that word there, staccato. That's a musical word, which means really short, short and sharp. So if I play the same rhythm again, but make the short notes really short and sharp, that would be staccato. Can you play some staccato notes with me? Choose C, D, E, any order you like. Play a short note. Another one, staccato. Use your tongue. Ta. 2 notes. Okay. So remember that word because we use it in music. So duration just means the length of the notes, how long and short the notes are. Now looking at the next tune on this page, it's called intervals. An interval is another musical word and it means the distance between 2 notes. So if you look at the first note, that is C, and then it goes to D. So they're 2 notes apart. From C to D, 1 note, 2 notes. This one, if you've got the backing track, the CD that comes with it, this is a really good one to play with the track. And next week, I'll play this with the track. But for now, I want you to learn the sequence of the notes. Look at the pattern. This page is all about patterns. Where the brackets are over the numbers, the notes rather. Look at the first note of each bar. The first note of each bar is C. C, D, C, E, C, F, and C, G. So the interval or the distance between the notes gets bigger each time, doesn't it? The second half of the song, what's happening there? Same thing but backwards, just like in the patterns above. G going down to F, G again going down to E, G again down to D. Make sure you go down to D, and then ending on our home note C. So it sounds like this. I'll play it for you. Think about the duration of the notes. They're all long notes. They're all the same except for the last note. 1, 2, 3, 4. that is a really, really, really good one for you to practice, and it's one of my favourites. Now, I said we'd have a quick look at page 10, so you can work this page out on your own, really. This page introduces the note B. Now, it says low B. Which of our notes is B next to in the alphabet? B is next to C. Therefore, you can work out that this note B is going to come just before C in the scale. However, don't play it in the 5-note scale, not yet. Well, you can, but I'll explain more about that next time. So here's B, lips nice and relaxed. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tunes on this page which use B's, C's, D's, E's. So you can now include B in your repertoire of notes. If you're making up a tune, it says 5 notes, you could actually make up a tune with 6 notes. So I'm just going to play number 2. I'll play the bottom one, the bottom tune on page 10, because this is another one you could practice and practice your reading and practice all these notes together. Starts on E. Okay, listening, you can play along if you like to. Okay, so your practice this week, you could go back a page. We've looked at the tunes on page 9, page 8. All of those are easy to play. All of these pages suggest making up your own tune. We've looked at some of the tunes on page 11 and a bit on page 10. Next week, we'll do more on that scale, 5-note scale. We will add in B to our scale. I'll show you where to put it. And we'll do more of these tunes on 10 and 11. After that, by half term, we ought to be heading for page 12. Once you get to page 11, you can play loads of things. So, good practicing, and I shall see you soon. Bye-bye.